Let time break him. The longer he goes without you, the more it hurts. I am Bonang Matheba, and right now I'm sitting cross-legged on my velvet couch in Johannesburg, phone on airplane mode, a glass of Pinot in one hand, and your heart in the other. I know exactly where you are tonight, because I've been there, curled up under a blanket that still smells like him, scrolling through old photos at 2 a.m., wondering how the man who swore you were his forever could walk out the door like you were yesterday's news. I'm talking to every woman who's ever had her chest cracked open and her love handed back like it was nothing. This is for the queen who's crying in her car in the Target parking lot, for the boss babe wiping mascara in the office bathroom, for the college girl staring at a text thread that's gone cold. Pull up a chair, sis, because I'm about to hand you the secret that saved my soul. Let time break him. That's right. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't remind him what he's missing. You zip your lips, straighten your crown, and let the clock do the dirty work. I learned this the hard way, back when I was 25, and thought love meant proving I was enough. I had a man, tall, smooth talking, the kind who could make good morning sound like a marriage proposal. We built a little universe, late night drives with Burner Boy on repeat, Sunday mornings tangled in sheets, plans whispered like prayers. Then one Tuesday, he said he needed space and left me holding the pieces of a future we painted together. I did what most of us do. I blew up his phone, wrote paragraphs he never answered, showed up at his spot with tears and takeout, begging him to remember the girl he couldn't live without. And you know what that got me? Radio, silence, and a bruised ego. But the day I stopped, the day I deleted the draft, blocked the urge to double text, something shifted. The universe leaned in and whispered, "Watch this." That's when I discovered the power of absence. Not the petty kind where you post thirst traps to make him jealous. No, the quiet kind where you disappear into your own glow up and let the void speak louder than any voicemail ever could. See, men are wired to conquer. They chase what runs. But when you stand still, when you become the mountain instead of the climber, the game flips. Every hour you don't reach out is a brick in the wall he has to climb to get back to your peace. I'm not saying it's easy. The first night is hell. Your fingers itch, your heart screams, your pillow absorbs a river. But that ache, it's the sound of old chains breaking. I want you to feel that. I want you to tattoo it on your ribcage. My silence is my superpower. Because while you're learning to breathe without him, he's learning he can't breathe without you. And trust me, darling, the longer he goes without your good morning text, your laugh in the kitchen, your hand on his back during scary movies, the heavier that absence gets. It starts as a pebble in his shoe, then a stone, then a boulder he can't roll away. I've watched grown men unravel because the woman they took for granted became a ghost they couldn't exercise. So tonight I need you to make me a promise. Close the Notes app where you're drafting apologies for existing. Mute his story. Put on that red lipstick you saved for special occasions and wear it to the grocery store. Because this isn't about revenge, it's about resurrection. You're not waiting for him to come crawling back, though he might. You're waiting for the version of you that doesn't need his validation to shine. And when she rises, sis, the whole world adjusts its orbit. That's the moment you win. Not when he texts, "I miss you," but when you realize you don't need him to. The journey starts with one deep breath and a decision to let time be the villain and the hero all at once. Your power was never in pursuit. It was always in patience. And patience, my love, is about to become his reckoning. I remember the first 24 hours like it was branded on my skin. You wake up reaching for a body that isn't there, the sheets cold where his warmth used to be. Your phone lights up with hope, then dims with disappointment when it's just a group chat meme. You replay the breakup like a director's cut, pausing on every frame where you could have said less, done more, been better. Stop. That reel is poison. I want you to get up, splash water on that beautiful face, and make coffee like it's a ritual for royalty, because it is. The first day is a war between your heart and your pride. And pride has to win this round. I once spent an entire morning drafting a text that started with, "I deserve an explanation," and ended with, "Please come home." I stared at it for 47 minutes, thumb hovering, until I heard my grandmother's voice in my head. "A queen doesn't beg for scraps at a table she set." So I deleted every word, blocked his number for the day, and took myself to brunch. Eggs Benedict never judged me. That's your assignment today. One act of self-love so loud, it drowns out his goodbye. Paint your nails fire engine red, blast Beyonce in the shower, call your best friend and laugh until your stomach hurts. Because the second you start filling your own cup, his absence stops being a hole and starts being a highlight reel of all the ways you're about to level up. I know the silence feels like screaming, but it's actually singing, a low hum that says, I'm still here and I'm still magic. Meanwhile, he's out there thinking he dodged a bullet, posting gym selfies with captions about new chapters. Let him. Every flex in that mirror is a reminder that the soft place he used to land is gone. He'll scroll past couple goals on Instagram and feel a twinge he can't name yet. That's the seed. Water it with your refusal to react. By noon, you'll want to check if he viewed your story. Don't. By 3 p.m., you'll swear you smell his cologne in the hallway. It's a ghost. Exhale it out. By dinner, cook something decadent, set the table for one, light a candle like you're courting your damn self, because you are. I used to set timers on my phone labeled no contact hour and reward myself with chocolate when I made it through. Sounds silly, but those small victories built the muscle that carried me through the nights I thought would swallow me whole. And sis, the first day is the hardest because it's the first time you choose you over the version of love that left. You're not ignoring him, you're honoring you. You're not playing hard to get, you're being hard to forget. Every minute you don't break is a minute he starts to wonder if he miscalculated. He expected tears, drama, a chase. Instead, he gets radio static, and static has a way of amplifying what's missing. So tonight, when the sun dips and the loneliness creeps, wrap yourself in the truth that tomorrow you'll wake up one day stronger, one day closer to the woman he'll wish he never let go. The first day is your declaration of independence, signed in lipstick and sealed with the kind of peace that comes from knowing the storm is outside, but the throne inside you is unshaken. Week 1 is when the plot twists in ways you can't script. He's out there living his best life, or at least the highlight reel version. Stories of brunches, new haircuts, gym gains, maybe even a blurry photo with a girl whose face you can't quite make out. Your stomach drops. Your friends send screenshots with fire emojis and question marks, and for a second you think you lost the breakup. Breathe, baby girl. That's the smoke screen. I've been the woman refreshing his page like it's the stock market, heart racing every time his profile picture changed. Then I realized something. Men perform freedom the loudest when they're trying to convince themselves it's real. While you're crying into your wine, he's laughing too hard at jokes that aren't funny, posting lyrics about moving on that he doesn't even understand. It's theater. And you're the only one who knows the script is fake. Your job this week is to become the director of your own blockbuster. Monday, delete the apps that let you stalk in real time. Tuesday, buy the dress you've been eyeing and wear it to work like armor. Wednesday, hit the gym not to sweat him out, but to build the body that'll make him swallow his tongue later. Thursday, say yes to the girls' night you usually cancel for him. Friday, dance in your kitchen to songs that have nothing to do with heartbreak. Saturday, sleep in, order pancakes, watch a rom-com where the girl ends up with the guy who deserved her all along. Sunday, journal every reason you're a damn catch, then burn the page and let the ashes fertilize your comeback. I once spent a whole week curating my own glow up like it was Paris Fashion Week. New haircut, new workout, new playlist titled Queen Shit Only. And you know what happened? Mutual friends started texting me, girl, you good? You look different. Different is dangerous to an ex. Different means untouchable. Meanwhile, he's starting to notice the crickets where your goodnight texts used to be. He asks your cousin how you're doing, casual, like he doesn't care. But men don't fish for intel unless the hook is still in their mouth. By day 5, his bravado cracks just enough for doubt to sneak in. He drives past the coffee shop you all loved and feels the seat next to him too empty. He orders your favorite pastry by accident and stares at it like it's evidence. That's the week the pedestal you built for him starts to wobble under his own feet. And you're too busy becoming the main character to notice. You laugh at a joke from the cute barista and it doesn't feel like betrayal, it feels like oxygen. You catch your reflection and think, damn, I forgot I look like this. That's the magic. The first week isn't about pretending you're fine, it's about remembering you were fine before him and will be finer after. Every day you don't reach out is a day he realizes the spotlight he thought was on his escape is actually on your throne. So keep shining, sis. Post that selfie with the caption that says nothing but speaks volumes. Let your silence be the loudest flex. Because while he's busy convincing the world he's winning, you're quietly stacking victories he'll never see coming. The first week is when the tide turns and the ocean you cried becomes the wave that carries you forward while he's left drowning in what if. 30 days in, and the calendar has become your quiet ally, flipping pages while he flips through memories he swore he could delete. You've stopped counting the hours since his last text and started counting the ways you've reclaimed your mornings. The sunrise run that leaves your lungs burning in the best way. The new coffee order you invented because his favorite now tastes like regret. The way your laugh comes quicker when your girlfriends roast his lame excuses. You're not healed, not yet, but you're healing. And that's a distinction that tastes like freedom. He, on the other hand, is learning that freedom has a price tag he never budgeted for. Word trickles back through the grapevine. He asked your homegirl how you're holding up, voice casual but eyes too eager. He liked an old throwback photo of you from 2 years ago, the one where you're glowing in a yellow sundress, then unliked it 2 seconds later, like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. That's the first crack in his armistice. That's the moment the silence you gifted him starts bouncing off the walls of his apartment and hitting him square in the chest. See, the human brain hates a vacuum. When you filled his days with good vibes, inside jokes, and 3 a.m., voice notes about nothing, you were oxygen. Now you're gone, and the air feels thin. He scrolls past a meme that would have made you howl, and his thumb hovers, wanting to send it, realizing there's no one on the other end who gets it like you did. He cooks dinner for one and sets 2 plates out of habit, then stares at the empty chair like it's mocking him. These are the micro moments that stack up until they become a mountain he can't climb without admitting he's lost altitude. And you're busy building wings. You signed up for that pottery class you always talked about. Hands caked in clay, shaping bowls that hold more than soup. They hold proof you can create beauty from mess. You started a group chat with your cousins called Queens Only, and the voice notes fly faster than gossip. You bought plants and named them after the dreams he said were unrealistic. Every new leaf is a reminder that growth doesn't need his permission. By day 25, your skin is clearer, your sleep is deeper, and your bank account is thicker. Because therapy ain't cheap, but neither is your peace. He notices. Of course he does. Mutual friends tag you in stories, and he watches on a burner account. He swears is just curiosity. He sees you at the rooftop yoga event. Downward dog looking like a prayer he forgot how to say. That's when the echo gets louder. He starts dreaming about the way you used to trace circles on his back when he couldn't sleep. He wakes up reaching for a body that isn't there, and the sheets feel colder than physics should allow. The first month is when the performance ends and the reality show begins. His boys tell him to hit the club, find a rebound, but every girl who laughs at his jokes sounds like static compared to your melody. He orders an Uber and the driver plays a song you all claimed as yours, and he damn near asks to be let out on the side of the road. That's the silence working overtime, turning ordinary moments into landmines. And you're not orchestrating any of it, you're just living, glowing, growing, while the absence you left behind does the heavy lifting. You post a picture hugging your mom with the caption, "Home is wherever she is," and he stares at it for 7 minutes straight, thumb frozen, realizing the home he walked away from wasn't 4 walls, it was you. By the end of the month, he's drafting texts he'll never send. Saw something today that made me think of you. Hope you're good. I messed up. Delete, delete, delete. The trash folder of his phone becomes a graveyard of almost apologies. And you're too busy watering your own garden to notice the weeds choking his. The first month is when silence stops being empty and starts being pregnant with possibility, his regret, your rebirth, the space between what was and what's coming next. Your absence has become a presence he can't escape. And that, my love, is the sweetest victory money can't buy. 60 days without him, and you're not just surviving. Your photosynthesis, turning pain into petals. Your mirror has become a hype woman, reflecting back a version of you that makes strangers do double takes at the grocery store. You switched conditioners and your curls bounce like they're paid to perform. You started weight training and your arms look like they could carry the world, or at least the emotional baggage he left at the door. Your laugh lines are deeper because you're laughing again, not the polite kind, the ugly snort, throw your head back kind that scares insecurity away. And he's seeing it all, even if he pretends he's not. His cousin's wedding was last weekend and you showed up in emerald silk that hugged every curve like it was custom made by the ancestors. You danced with your uncle, took shots with your sorority sisters, and when the DJ played your song, you kept moving like the lyrics were written for someone else's story. He was in the corner, tie loosened, watching like a man who realized the lottery ticket he threw away just hit the jackpot. That's the thing about glow-ups. They're loudest when you're not trying to be seen. You're doing it for the girl who used to cry in the shower, for the woman who deserves to take up space without apology. You started meal prepping on Sundays, salmon and sweet potato becoming your love language to self. You read 3 books in 2 weeks, the kind with dog-eared pages and highlighted lines about resilience that feel like letters from your future. You took a solo trip to the coast, toes in the sand, sunset painting the sky, the color of forgiveness you're learning to give yourself. Every sunrise selfie you post is a postcard from a country he no longer has a visa to. And the best part? You're not performing. This isn't a thirst trap revenge tour. This is you, remembering that your body is a temple, your mind a library, your spirit a lighthouse. Men notice. The barista writes his number on your cup with a smiley face. The guy at the gym offers to spot you and means it in both ways. But you're not shopping for replacements, you're curating standards. You smile, say thank you, and keep it moving because the only arms you need right now are the ones lifting weights and hugging your dreams. He hears about the new you through the whisper network that never sleeps. She's different, they say. She's happy, they say. And happy is the most dangerous thing you can be to a man who thought sadness would keep you on a leash. He starts comparing every woman he meets to the memory of you, the way you used to dance in the kitchen wearing his t-shirt, the way you could make a Tuesday feel like Friday. New girls try, but their jokes land flat, their touch feels temporary, he's dating his own echo and losing. Meanwhile, you're collecting experiences like seashells, each one proof that life expands when you stop shrinking to fit someone else's frame. You started a vision board, and it's not about getting him back, it's about getting you forward. Promotion at work, passport stamps, a dog you'll name after your favorite wine. You're becoming the woman your younger self prayed for, and the prayer sounds like laughter now. By day 90, your phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. A photo of the beach you all used to walk captioned, "Remember this?" You stare at it for 3 seconds, smile at the memory, then archive the message without reply. Because the finest revenge isn't petty. It's peace. It's waking up without the weight of wondering. It's knowing your beauty was never his to validate. You're getting finer every day, not because the scale moved or the makeup improved, but because your soul is finally wearing the crown it was born for. And crowns, sis, don't bow, they shine. The glow you're cultivating isn't for his regret, it's for your reign. It's 2:17 a.m. on a Thursday. And the city is asleep, but his mind is wide awake, replaying the soundtrack of you. The ceiling fan spins like a metronome, counting every second since your voice stopped filling his space. He scrolls to the playlist you all made, thumb hovering over the song that played the night he first said, "I love you." And the memory hits like a freight train, your head on his chest, heartbeat sinking like it was written in the stars. He closes the app, opens it again, closes it. The silence in his apartment is louder than any argument you'll ever had. He pads to the kitchen, opens the fridge, stares at leftovers that taste like cardboard because you're not there to steal bites and tease him about his cooking. He pours a drink, something strong, but the burn doesn't touch the ache. This is the witching hour, when absence becomes a physical thing. A weight on his sternum, a ghost wearing your perfume. He remembers the way you used to pad barefoot to the bathroom at 3 a.m. How he'd pretend to be asleep just to watch you in the moonlight. How he'd pull you back to bed and whisper, "Stay," like a prayer. Now the bed is too big, the sheets too cold, the space where your body curved into his a crater he can't fill. He checks his phone for the 100th time, hoping for a miracle that looks like your name. Nothing. The nights are when the armor comes off and the truth sneaks in wearing your favorite hoodie. He drives the route to your old spot, the one with the neon sign and the jukebox that always played your song, Second. The parking lot is empty, but he sits there anyway, engine off, radio low, letting the memories flood the car like smoke. He thinks about the fight that broke y'all, the words he can't unsay, the door he walked through thinking grass was greener. Turns out the grass was astroturf, pretty but fake, and now he's allergic to the lie. He drafts a text, can't sleep. Thinking about you, deletes it, types again, I was wrong, deletes it. The cursor blinks like a heartbeat, he's scared to restart. Meanwhile, you're asleep across town, silk bonnet on, dreams full of places you've never been and versions of you he'll never meet. You wake up once, reach for water, smile at the quiet, roll over, and sink back into rest that doesn't need his good night. Your peace is a fortress he can't breach with nostalgia. He tries to distract himself, scrolls dating apps, but every profile pic blurs into what yours used to look like when you were his lock screen. He closes the app, opens photos, zooms in on one of you mid-laugh at his birthday, the one where cake is on your nose and joy is in your eyes. He stares until the screen dims, then lights it again. The nights stretch long when regret is your only bedmate. He remembers the way you trace I love you on his back with your fingertip, how he'd guess wrong on purpose just to feel your giggle vibrate against his skin. He remembers the fight over nothing that turned into everything, how he said, I need space, thinking it was courage when it was cowardice. Space turned into a canyon, and now he's yelling across it with no echo back. He falls asleep on the couch, TV flickering infomercials, dreaming of your hand in his hair. By day 90, your phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. A photo of the beach you all used to walk captioned, remember this? You stare at it for 3 seconds, smile at the memory, then archive the message without reply. Because the finest revenge isn't petty, it's peace. It's waking up without the weight of wondering. It's knowing your beauty was never his to validate. The dark hours belong to him now, a classroom where the lesson is carved in moonlight. You can't unlove someone who showed you what real love feels like. The nights he misses you most are the nights your absence becomes his loudest teacher, and the curriculum is regret with extra credit in longing. 93 days since he walked, and your phone finally vibrates with a message that makes your heart do a cartwheel and a facepalm at the same time. Hey, you okay? 3 dots, then the little typing bubble that disappears like his courage. You stare at the screen in the middle of Target, one hand on a carton of oat milk, the other frozen mid-reach. Thinking about you, deletes it, types again, I was wrong, deletes it. The cursor blinks like a heartbeat, he's scared to restart. Meanwhile, you're asleep across town, silk bonnet on, dreams full of places you've never been and versions of you he'll never meet. You wake up once, reach for water, smile at the quiet, roll over, and sink back into rest that doesn't need his good night. Your peace is a fortress he can't breach with nostalgia. The cashier asks if you need help, and you almost laugh because yes, you need help, not replying with the novel you've rehearsed in the shower 100 times, but you don't. You lock the phone, pay for your groceries, and wheel the cart to your car like a woman who's been waiting for this exact test. That text is the first domino, the crack in the dam. The moment his silence breaks before yours does. He sent it at 11:47 p.m. He's pacing now, checking his phone between sets at the gym, wondering why the girl who used to light up at his name is suddenly a fortress. You wake up Saturday to a follow-up, just checking in, no pressure. The word pressure is doing somersaults because, baby, the pressure is all on him. You screenshot it for the group chat titled Sis Court, and your girls flood the thread with popcorn emojis and screenshots of Michelle Obama side-eye. You spend the day at a rooftop brunch, bottomless mimosas, laughing so loud the table next to you asks to join. You post a story of your plate captioned, living my best plot twist, and he watches it within 30 seconds. That's the second domino. By Sunday, he's spiraling. He calls a mutual friend and asks if you're seeing someone voice tight, like a guy who just realized the game has levels he never unlocked. The friend says, she's good, real good, and hangs up. 93 days since he walked, and your phone finally vibrates with a message that makes your heart do a cartwheel and a facepalm at the same time. Hey, you okay? 3 dots, then the little typing bubble that disappears like his courage. You stare at the screen in the middle of Target, one hand on a carton of oat milk, the other frozen mid-reach. You go to dinner with your dad, let him tell you stories about how your mom made him chase her for 6 months before she even gave him her real number. You laugh until your cheeks hurt and realize the apple didn't fall far. Tuesday, he shows up at your favorite coffee shop, accidentally, wearing the hoodie you bought him last Christmas. You spot him in line, heart doing a quick 2-step, but you order your latte extra foam and walk out without a glance. You spend the day at a rooftop brunch, bottomless mimosas, laughing so loud the table next to you asks to join. You post a story of your plate captioned, living my best plot twist, and he watches it within 30 seconds. That's the second domino. By Sunday, he's spiraling. He calls a mutual friend and asks if you're seeing someone voice tight, like a guy who just realized the game has levels he never unlocked. The friend says, "She's good, real good," and hangs up. You let the water cool, drain the tub, and moisturize your skin like you're sealing a letter he'll never open. Thursday, he calls, you let it ring, watch the voicemail icon appear, and delete it unheard. Friday, he texts a simple, "I miss you." You finally type back 3 words that took 93 days to earn, "Take care." Then you block the thread, not out of spite, but out of space, making. He remembers the way you trace "I love you" on his back with your fingertip, how he'd guess wrong on purpose just to feel your giggle vibrate against his skin. He remembers the fight over nothing that turned into everything, how he said, "I need space," thinking it was courage when it was cowardice. Space turned into a canyon, and now he's yelling across it with no echo back. He falls asleep on the couch, TV flickering infomercials, dreaming of your hand in his hair. 6 months in and you've moved to a zip code he never learned, not on a map, but in the geography of your soul. You're in a high-rise with floor-to-ceiling windows that frame the skyline like a postcard you send to your past self. Your promotion came with a corner office, a salary that makes you giggle when you say it out loud, and a team that calls you boss like it was always your name. You need room for the woman who's about to take over the world, and his baggage no longer fits in the overhead bin. The first text was his white flag, but your silence was the treaty, signed, sealed, and delivered on your terms. The moment you choose not to reply is the moment you graduate from heartbreak to heritage, and the diploma is written in the peace that finally feels like home. He's stuck in the same apartment, same job, same routine that feels like déjà vu without the vu. His boys drag him to Vegas for a weekend, but the slots don't hit like your smile used to. The strip feels hollow without your hand in his. He takes a selfie with the Bellagio fountains, and it gets 12 likes, mostly pity. You're somewhere he can't reach, not because of miles, but because of mindset. You started therapy bi-weekly, unpacked the daddy issues, the people-pleasing, the fear of being too much. You learned your love language is quality, time, and acts of service, and you give both to yourself now like a trust fund kid with compound interest. You adopted a rescue pup named Zuri, which means beautiful in Swahili, and she sleeps on your chest like she's guarding the heart he thought he broke. You travel for work now, layovers in cities he only saw in your dreams, sipping espresso in Milan, watching sunsets in Santorini, collecting passport stamps like love notes from the universe. You post a photo from a rooftop in Cape Town, wind in your braids, caption, "Views better than revenge," and the likes pour in from people who never knew the old you. He sees it on a friend's feed because he's still lurking, still hoping for a crack in the armor that's now titanium. He hears about the new you in fragments. She's in Dubai. She spoke at that conference. She's dating that photographer, or maybe not. She's just living. Each rumor is a pin on a map he can't fold back into the glove compartment of his life. He tries to manifest you back, lights a candle, writes your name on paper, burns it like some TikTok spell. The smoke smells like desperation. You're on a yacht in Miami, barefoot, champagne flute, catching the light, laughing at a joke from a woman who could be your sister in another life. The photo goes viral on someone's story, and he watches it on mute, volume down, but regret cranked to 11. He comments on an old post of yours, something generic like beautiful, and you don't see it because you archived everything that smelled like him. You're somewhere he can't reach, not because you're hiding, but because you're soaring. Your laugh has new octaves, your tears are rare and cleansing, your prayers are thank yous instead of please. You mentor young women at the community center, tell them the story of the girl who thought love meant shrinking and how she learned to expand until the universe made room. You buy yourself flowers every Friday, roses the color of sunrise, and arrange them like love letters to your future. He drives past your old coffee shop, and the barista doesn't recognize him without you attached. He orders your drink by mistake and leaves it on the counter, untouched. You're somewhere he can't reach, and the distance isn't punishment, it's protection. It's the space where you became the main character, the plot twist, the happily ever after you wrote with ink made of boundaries and self-love. The higher you climb, the smaller he becomes, until he's just a dot on the horizon of a life that no longer needs his coordinates to navigate. 9 months to the day, and there's a knock at your door that sounds like déjà vu in Timberlands. You open it to find him standing there, bouquet of peonies wilting in his grip, eyes bloodshot like he hasn't slept since the last time he saw you smile at someone else. He starts talking before you can say hello, words tumbling like he rehearsed them in the car. I messed up. I see it now. I was scared, immature, lost. You were the best thing, and I let you go. I'm in therapy. I quit the job that stressed me out. I even started running. I miss you. I miss us. Can we try again? The hallway smells like apology and cologne you used to love. You lean against the doorframe in silk pajamas and a calm that took blood, sweat, and way too many voice notes to achieve. Zuri barks once from the couch, protective, and you almost smile because even your dog knows the vibe check. He keeps going, voice cracking, listing all the ways he's changed, all the ways he sees you now, all the ways he'll never take you for granted again. You let him finish. You let the silence after his last word stretch like taffy, sweet and sticky. Then you speak, soft but steel. I'm proud of your growth. I truly am. But the space you left wasn't a vacancy, it was a renovation. I built something here that doesn't have room for what we were. His face crumples like paper in rain. You take the flowers, not for sentiment, but because Peony shouldn't suffer for his sins. You thank him for the apology, tell him to keep the therapy, wish him genuine happiness, and close the door with a click that sounds like the period at the end of a sentence you stopped writing months ago. You put the flowers in a vase anyway, because beauty doesn't need a backstory to bloom. He texts an hour later, I understand. I just needed you to know. You don't reply. You're on a plane to Lisbon the next morning, window seat, noise-canceling headphones, a playlist titled Solo Jeune. You toast with orange juice at 30,000 feet and the flight attendant asks why you're glowing. You say, I just closed a chapter that was holding my bookmark hostage. He spends the weekend calling mutual friends, asking if you're really done, if there's any chance, if you mentioned him. They all say variations of the same truth. She's good, like really good. You cook for one and plate it like it's Michelin starred, because presentation is self-respect in edible form. You join a book club where the wine is cheap and the conversations are priceless, debating Toni Morrison like she's in the room. You say no to plans that drain you and yes to sunrise hikes that refill you. Your calendar is color-coded chaos. Every square a reminder that your time is currency and you're investing in NASDAQ-level growth. The cobblestone streets don't care about his regret, and neither do you. You come home to a package on your doorstep, your favorite book annotated in his handwriting, sticky notes with apologies and memories. You donate it to the little free library down the block because someone else deserves to learn from your story without living it. He comes back, but it's too late. Not because you're bitter, but because you're better. You're in a season where your yes is sacred and your no is scripture. You date when you want, dance when the beat hits, disappear into sunsets that don't need witnesses. You mentor, you manifest, you moisturize your boundaries like they're worth their weight in gold. He becomes a footnote in the novel of your becoming, a character who taught you that the right love doesn't require losing yourself to find it. The door you closed wasn't slammed, it was sealed with the kind of grace that comes from knowing your worth isn't negotiable. He comes back, but the woman he's looking for evolved into someone who no longer fits in the frame he tried to hang her in. And that, my love, is the most beautiful plot twist of all. A full year has passed since the door closed on his peonies and your past, and the calendar now reads like a love letter to the woman you've become. You wake up in a bed that's yours alone, sunlight spilling across linen sheets you picked because they feel like a hug from the universe. Zuri stretches beside you, tail thumping the rhythm of a morning that belongs entirely to you. Your phone buzzes with a calendar reminder, 1 year anniversary of choosing me. You smile, roll out of bed, and brew coffee in a French press you bought in Paris, the one that makes the kitchen smell like a cafe on the Seine. You're not counting days without him anymore. You're counting days with you, and the tally is glorious. You slip into running shoes and hit the trail by the lake, earbuds pumping a playlist that starts with Survivor and ends with Formation. Your stride is steady, your breath even, your mind clear as the water reflecting the sky. You pass the bench where you used to sit with him, sharing earbuds and dreams, and you don't flinch. The bench is just wood and metal now, a prop in a play you've long since left the stage of. You keep running, legs carrying you toward a finish line that keeps moving because your goals evolve faster than your sneakers wear out. You've built a life that hums with intention. Your apartment is a sanctuary of plants, art, and books with cracked spines from being loved too hard. You host brunches where the mimosas flow and the conversations dig deep, women circling up to share wins, wounds, and wisdom. You launched that side hustle you daydreamed about during late-night scrolls, a line of journals with prompts that ask, what would you do if fear wasn't invited? They're selling out on Etsy, and you're negotiating with a boutique in Brooklyn for a pop-up. You mentor 3 young women now, meeting them at the coffee shop where you once ignored his accidental appearance. You tell them about the girl who thought love meant begging and how she learned it means boundaries. They take notes, eyes wide, and you see your younger self in their hope. You speak at conferences, voice steady, slides clicking through stories of resilience that make strangers cry and clap in the same breath. Your Instagram is a mood board of joy. You in a red dress at your cousin's wedding, you holding a microphone like it's a torch, you on a mountain in Colorado with snow in your braids and triumph in your grin. The followers aren't the point, the freedom is. He's a ghost now, not the haunting kind, but the kind you nod to in old photos and keep scrolling. You heard through a friend of a friend that he's dating someone new, a sweet girl who laughs at his jokes and doesn't know the history baked into his silences. You wish them well, genuinely, because your heart has expanded to hold compassion without cracking open old scars. You ran into him once at the grocery store of all places, both of you reaching for the same brand of oat milk. He froze, carton in hand, eyes searching yours for a flicker of the girl who used to light up at his nearness. You smiled, polite but distant, said, "Hey, good to see you," and kept moving. He texted later a simple, "You look happy." You didn't reply, not out of cruelty, but because some conversations belong to the season they bloomed in, and that season is compost now, fertilizing the life you're living. You're not angry, not bitter, not even nostalgic in the way that stings. He comes back, but the woman he's looking for evolved into someone who no longer fits in the frame he tried to hang her in. And that, my love, is the most beautiful plot twist of all. A full year has passed since the door closed on his peonies and your past. And the calendar now reads like a love letter to the woman you've become. You wake up in a bed that's yours alone, sunlight spilling across linen sheets you picked because they feel like a hug from the universe. You launched that side hustle you daydreamed about during late-night scrolls, a line of journals with prompts that ask, what would you do if fear wasn't invited? They're selling out on Etsy, and you're negotiating with a boutique in Brooklyn for a pop-up. You mentor 3 young women now, meeting them at the coffee shop where you once ignored his accidental appearance. You tell them about the girl who thought love meant begging and how she learned it means boundaries. You kiss under string lights, laugh over tacos, and go home to Zuri without owing anyone an explanation. You're not waiting for the one, you're becoming the one, and the difference feels like breathing after years underwater. Your therapist calls it secure attachment, you call it Sunday morning peace with pancakes and no apologies. Time has been your professor, your healer, your hype woman. It taught you that healing isn't linear, it's a spiral, circling back to old triggers with new tools. It showed you that his absence didn't break you. It introduced you to the parts of yourself you'd outsourced to his validation. It revealed that the love you gave him was practice for the love you give yourself. And the return on investment is a life that feels like winning the lottery every day. You celebrate your anniversary of choosing you with a picnic by the lake, a charcuterie board you arranged like art, a bottle of champagne you pop alone and share with the sky. You toast to the girl who cried in the Target parking lot, to the woman who deleted the drafts, to the queen who runs her own empire now. You dance barefoot in the grass, phone on airplane mode, heart wide open to the rhythm of your own becoming. The final lesson isn't that he lost you, it's that you found you. It's that time doesn't heal all wounds, it reveals all strength. It's that the longer he went without you, the more he hurt, but the longer you went without him, the more you healed. It's that love isn't a chase. It's a choice, and you choose you every morning with coffee, every night with gratitude, every moment with the kind of joy that doesn't need a witness to be real. You are the plot twist, the glow-up, the testament that a woman can lose a man and gain a movement. You are the proof that time is your best friend when you let it work its magic without interference. And the magic is this: you're not the woman he left, you're the woman he inspired you to become, and she's unstoppable. Sisters, if this journey spoke to your soul, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment with your favorite glow-up moment. Like this video to spread the vibe, and share it with every queen who needs to remember her power. Don't miss the next chapter of inspiration, because your story is still being written and it's about to be legendary.